Hi, Kim Rayner here from All About Spirits Life After Cancer. And if you are a normal viewer who tunes in at 10 o'clock on Monday mornings, you'll notice that it's nowhere near 10 o'clock on Monday morning. And today's episode, this is episode 40 of All About Spirits Life After Cancer. And today's episode is called Life on Life's Terms. And I chose this episode, I chose that title because today was a day of Life on Life's Terms. And you know, when you get a cancer diagnosis, it impacts every aspect of your life. It impacts your spiritual life, your physical life, your emotional life, your relationships with people, friends, family, work. It impacts everything. And whether you are the person who is diagnosed with cancer, or you are a person supporting someone who's had cancer, or if you're the medical staff treating people who have dealt with cancer, you understand at some level what it means to deal with life on life's terms. And when I say that, what I mean by that is, you know, we have ideas on things that we think are going to happen. We have ways that we think we're going to be at certain ages of our lives, and we have ways that we think our health care is going to manifest and the way that our bodies are going to react to certain things. And then when life doesn't turn out that way, when it doesn't happen that way, then we have to deal with life on life's terms. And there's a lot of different ways that that happens for us. You know, sometimes, especially when we're dealing with cancer, right? It can be things that say, this isn't what I want to be happening. This isn't how I want this to be turning out. So we have lots of ways that we deal with it. We can complain about it. We can get angry about it. We can, hi Sherry, thanks for tuning in. We can complain about it. We can quit. We can start to bully other people. Hi Mike, thanks for tuning in. You know, we can bully other people. We can try and push our way through life, and we can try and shove things into the way we want them to be, and none of that works very well. So as I think about life on life's terms and dealing with, and not just cancer, but really anything that you deal with, what do I mean when I say, hi, what do I mean when I say dealing with life on life's terms? Well, we really don't have control over an awful lot of what goes on in our life. And when life happens, we get to decide what we're going to do with it and how we're going to handle it and how we're going to walk through it. Are we going to do the things that I talked about? Get angry, get frustrated, become a bully. Hi, Mike. Become a bully to people. Are we going to try and bulldoze our way through lives? Are we going to become the bull in the china factory? Or are we going to say, all right, this is what's been handed to me, and how am I going to navigate this? What am I going to do with this? And that really is what today was like for me. I plan on doing this show at 10 o'clock on Monday mornings, and today it didn't work out that way. I have a family member who has some health things going on, and I needed to go attend to that. So I can speak to this as both the patient, as a cancer survivor, because I certainly didn't plan on that, and as a caregiver for somebody who has had to deal with cancer. So I have two different ways that I deal with it. The first thing is, and there are an awful lot of people who are aware of a prayer called the Serenity Prayer. And it goes, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And that's one of my very first go-to places when I'm dealing with something that I don't really want to be happening in my life. I apply the Serenity Prayer to it. And I really break it down into, okay, what are the things about this that I can't change? Well, today, if I look at today as the caregiver for somebody, I couldn't change the fact that I had somebody in my life who needed me to be there. I couldn't change that. So what could I change? So grant me the serenity to accept the things I can't change. Okay, I can't change that she needed me. So it was a no-brainer for me. I can change the time that I do my show. So I adjusted the time to it. And I said, I'm going to do it tonight instead of this morning. And that's just going to have to be okay. So, and it happens in all sorts of different ways. I know when I was going through my chemo, one of the things that happened was they said I was going to do 3 weeks of chemo on and then take 1 week off. And there were times that my body couldn't handle that. and I had to take, 1 week of chemo and then take a week off, or 2 weeks of chemo and take a week off. I couldn't change what my body was doing, but I could change my attitude about it. I could change how I planned on dealing with it and whether I accepted it or not. So applying the serenity prayer and the part about having the wisdom to know the difference. When is it okay? When is it appropriate? What can I change? What can't I change? And how do I navigate that? And sometimes when you're too close to the situation, it's really hard to be able to tell. So having somebody that you can talk to on the outside is helpful. So one of the ways that I deal with life on life's terms is to apply the serenity prayer. Another way that I deal with it, and this usually comes after I've done the serenity prayer and I've looked at it through that lens, then I ask myself 3 other questions. The first is, what is it that I want out of this situation? Hi, Bob. Thanks for joining tonight. What is it that I want out of this situation? And I take a look, especially if I'm dealing with something with my health. What is it that I want? Am I wanting my body to be back the way it used to be? Well, it may or may not be able to go back to the way it used to be. Do I want something else to be going on with it? So I ask myself, what is it that I really want? And I take some time to sit down and really think about that. I take some time, and usually with pen and paper, because the more focused you are on identifying what you want, the easier it is to identify the things that are getting in your way, and to identify, all right, can I really have this? Is this a reasonable thing for me to be wanting out of the situation that I'm in? So the first thing is to ask, what is it that I want? And then the next question is, well, why is it that I want that? Is it because I want to... if I'm looking at my health, right? Is it because I want to be able to go do the things that I used to be able to do? Is it because I want to be comfortable in my skin? Is it because I want to feel healthy as I walk through life? So why do I want what it is that I want? And then the last question I ask myself is, how do I want to feel in this process? And that helps me decide, okay, is this a reasonable thing that I want, or is it not a reasonable thing that I want? And the how do I want to feel has to do with the attitude part. Do I want to be cranky and angry because I don't have life the way I want life to be? Or, hi Bob, or do I want to make the best of the situation that I have in front of me right now? How do I want to navigate this? So the 2 ways that I deal with life on life's terms really are to apply the serenity prayer and then, grant me the serenity to accept the things I can't change. So what about the situation can't I change? The courage to change the things I can, right? So for me today, the courage was to say, I'm canceling the show at 10 o'clock this morning and I'm going to do it later. And then the wisdom to know the difference. I can't make the person who's sick wait for me, so I need to go deal with this now. So that's the first way. And then the second way is, well, what do I want? Well, in the case of dealing with the person today, what I wanted was to go and be there for the person who reached out and asked if I could help them. I wanted to be there for them. Why did I want that? Well, because it's my mom and I love her and I wanted to be there to support her. And how did I want to feel? Well, at the end of this, I wanted to feel like I was useful to her. I wanted to feel like I was helpful to her. I also wanted to feel like I was helpful to the community that I support who are going through cancer treatment, or the communities that I support in other ways. So I was able to apply both of those tools to my life on life's terms today, and I get to walk through the end of the day and say, all right, not the way I planned, not what I expected to be happening today, but I was still able to deal with everything that I needed to deal with, and I was able to show up and be who I wanted to be for the people I care about. So I guess that's life on life's terms for me, and it happens in all walks of life, not just if you're walking through cancer, not if you are supporting someone who's walking through cancer. It happens if you're raising kids, it happens if you work, it happens if you're retired. It happens if you go to the grocery store and people are responding differently than you would like them to be. It happens if you watch the news. So if you're breathing, at some point you are going to have to deal with life on life's terms. And I hope that something I shared with you is helpful to you in the process of dealing with life on life's terms. And as always, I really appreciate your tuning in tonight. And thanks for being here, and I hope you make it a great rest of the week. Take care.